Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this top. If you want to see the rest of the outfit, let me know in the comment section below. The materials you'll be using today are a darning needle, a 5mm hook, and a measuring tape. And then right there I'm just showing you what the other half of the top looks like. We're going to start the second half now. So right here, I'm just going to chain up enough to make 9 inches, which is for like one of the under boobs. What I did for my measurements was I measured the whole under boob section, and I divided that in half twice. So I got rid of the measurement for the around the back, and then I split each cup in half. I hope that makes sense. And then right here, I'm just going to measure that and make sure it's the 9 inches that I need. So right here, I'm blocking off that last chain with my thumb, chaining 2 additional chains, and then I'm going to go into the space where I'm holding my thumb and put my first double crochet. So I'm just going to double crochet all the way across for the first row, and I'll come back to you guys when I get to the end. Sorry, I didn't realize I was out of frame here. Alright, so now that we're at the end, I'm going to go ahead and put 3 double crochets in the last 3 stitches, and then we're going to chain up 2 and turn our work. So now that we've chained up 2 and turned our work, I'm going to start my decreasing. I'm going to do that by stitching the next 2 stitches together. Once you do that, you'll continue the row as you did the first one, and then once again when you get to the last 3 stitches, you'll stitch 2 of them together, and then the very last stitch you'll put 1 double crochet. Then you'll chain up 2 and turn your work. I did this for a total of 3 rows for the purple. Every color after this, we're going to alternate every 2 rows. And if you didn't catch it the first time, here's how I stitch my stitches together. Just to slow it down for you guys, these are the last 3 stitches. Well, it'll be like this for each row, but these are the last 3 stitches for this row. In the very first 2 stitches, I'm going to stitch those together, and the last one I'm going to put a double crochet before I chain up too. So now we're going to do a color change. So that very last double crochet, we're not going to complete. We're going to draw through 2 of those loops, and you should still have 2 on your hook. So right here, I'm just going to cut my yarn and attach the new yarn and tie it to make sure it's secure. Also, I like to work my ends into my work instead of weaving them at the end. So I'm just going to wrap those around. And as I do my double crochets, I'm just going to put the yarn in between. I hope I'm making sense. I'm going to put the yarn in between each stitch as I go along. And once I feel like I have enough of those tails inside of the work to keep it secure, I'll put the rest of the tail off to the side or like on the front or back side of my work, just so later on I can go through at the end and clip it. You'll see what I mean. And again, just a reminder, we're going to be decreasing at the beginning and end of each row. And don't forget to chain 2 before you turn your work. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off the second row of blue and meet you guys back at the end, where we'll switch colors once again. Alright, so here we're going to just continue the same steps we did for the first 2 rows for the next, I think, 4 colors. And as you'll start to notice, the more colors you add, the closer your project's going to be coming inwards. So just make sure you're paying attention to that decrease and you're not accidentally re-adding a stitch now that you have two of those stitches together. Also, you want to make sure when you add on your next color, you don't tie it too tight. You can always give those two strings a little tug, as you'll see me do throughout the clip. So right here, I'm going to cut my orange string and tie off. We're just going to pull it through that loop and pull it kind of snug. And then after, I'm going to go through and cut off all my loose strings just to get rid of those. And then I'm going to go through with my yarn needle and sew in any loose ends, like the one from the beginning row and that orange one from the very last row. So I'm going to attach my yarn using a single crochet. I'm going to do that in the last 2 stitches at the top. And then I'm going to chain up 100. And then I'm going to come back down that chain of 100, and I'll show you how we're going to attach it when we get to the end. And I'm just going to go back down that chain with single crochets. Alright, so now that we're getting down to those last couple stitches, I'm going to continue with my single crochet. And then I'm going to go into the stitch that we did not chain up from and put another single crochet into there. And then I'm going to tie off my string by cutting it and pulling through. And then now we're going to weave in all of our ends. And then I like to take any loose ends and just tie them together just to make sure they're more secure. And then once we're finished tying all of the loose ends and weaving them through, we're just going to go ahead and snip those ends off. Okay, so here I'm going to create a chain of 150 and go back on that chain for one row with single crochets, and we're going to weave that through the bottom of each bralette, and that's going to be where you tie it in the back. I didn't get to record it, but I will post pictures at the end of the bra fully assembled.